Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our advanced trainings on Thursdays with me, with Petra. If you are new, welcome. We love seeing you here. We love having you here. We've been doing this since September last year. It's been a year. Almost at the end of this month, it will be a year. Big celebration, huh? A year of trainings every Thursday. I am grateful, truly grateful for sticking with me and being here with me. And it's beautiful because we are diving into a topic tonight, which is all about the cycles. It's all about the natural rhythms and the repetitions that we actually live in this beautiful world. So, hello from Gold Coast. Lovely to have you. Hi, Michelle. Thank you. I love you all as well, and I am truly honored for all the messages that I receive on a daily basis of your gratitude and love. And I have to say that I am in awe, honestly, of everything as you as a community are, and that the community that we are becoming. It is truly beautiful to witness, because my intention last year in September was to actually inspire every single one of you that have a Healy to actually start using it and not having it in your drawers, and not touching it, but actually utilizing it, because it's such an amazing tool, honestly. Um, it's been today. Today is my anniversary. It's the 5th of September, and it's 4 years since I bought my Healy. So today is my 4-year anniversary with Healy. And I am truly grateful to have this beautiful tool in my life. And I'm also honored to be a part of this community, and share my knowledge and experiences with you. And of course, always love to hear your experiences, always love to hear your insights, because I truly believe that if we share among each other and we help each other, we can grow faster and we become better people. And not only that, like, we are meant to live in communities, we are meant to support each other, and we are meant to, connect through the heart. So if you have any questions, if you would like to share your experiences, please share them within our Facebook group. Katie and I, Kate Chisholm and I, that are running a group, the Freedom with Frequency Quantum Community. We always love to hear your voice. Your voice will always be heard in our community, and any questions you have, we always love to answer as much as we have the time. But I love that you are supporting each other now, so which is really beautiful to see. But according to the cycles, there is many cycles for me and probably for you too. So let's just start. I would love to know, natural cycle is not included in my Healy purchased in April. Correct, because natural cycle is a separate program that you can purchase individually. This month we have a beautiful, beautiful surprise, and Healy Corporate has offered 50% on natural cycle, so you can actually add that into your basket of programs. And today we're going to look at why you want to have it. So I'm just going to share my screen. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, now I don't know why it's not sharing. That is really funny. Let me see what my computer is doing, because it is funny that it does not want to share what I want it to share. Okay, and now it's freezing. Okay, here we go. Oh, now it is. Here we go. Now let's start again. Okay, let me know if you can see. I don't know where I've lost you. The cameras. Oh, here. Okay, I'm just gonna move this here. Okie dokie. So, natural cycle and the mini protocol. So we're going to look at what natural cycle is. We're going to look at how do you actually do it? How do you start? Why do you want to start? Why do you want to have that program? And of course, you know, if you do already have that program, we always love to hear um, what your experience is, right? I'm going to share my experience. I'm going to share the protocol that Healy actually recommends. That it's actually a no-brainer. We're going to look at. I'm going to share my screen on the phone to actually show you how this is all done. It's actually done for you, which is amazing. I love what Healy has done on this. But I'm going to also share what I've been testing on my body. So some do's and don'ts for you to actually work with. As you know, I've been using frequencies for a long time, so my body needs a bit different than yours. So I'm going to give you a bit more advanced protocol, mini protocol, not a long one, something simple to follow. But if you're new and starting, and of course, even if you're not new, I would advise you to actually start the protocol that Healy offers first, and then see how you go with it, and then adjust accordingly. Yeah. So let's look at it. So as every Thursday, we know that Healy is amazing, and all that Healy does is incredibly amazing, or with frequencies that we can receive from this beautiful little device. But as we know, it's not a magic pill. So hence the disclaimer. First of all, please do not treat it as a medical device, because it's not intended to do any medical applications, and it's also not intended to cure, treat, mitigate, diagnose, prevent any disease or medical conditions. But it is a beautiful, beautiful tool for balancing your entire body systems, and is something that body does naturally. We just help it along like a beautiful hand crossing the bridge, and that includes Meg Healy as well. Make sure that you treat it as that. Any of the things that you are experiencing, unfortunately, can't be proven, because even Einstein didn't prove it, and unfortunately, we don't have devices that can actually prove that in Western medical system. But as always, anything that is as support in your wellness well-being, make sure that you treat it with respect. Make sure that you treat it in a way that supports your body, so you're not abusing it, and you're not abusing your body, because anything good in overdose is also not good for you. So make sure that you practice those laws as well. Okay, so let's look at why is this not showing? Let me just move this around, because my Zoom is a bit tricky today. I don't know why, but it is. Okie dokie, because I can't see your chats or anything. Okay, here we go. So I want to know if you are in tune with your natural cycle. Do you actually know what natural cycle is? And if you know, if you're in tune, let me know in the chat. And would love to know how that looks like for you. So if you have that awareness, if you have awareness of the connection to your body and to your cycles, because we have different cycles that our body goes through, that women go through, that men go through. So we all live in cycles. And I just want to understand if you are in tune with your cycle, and if you understand what that actually is. Yes, Uma, love that. I love that you know that you're in tune with your cycle. So let's look at what natural cycle really is. Yeah, so you can then understand if you're in tune with your cycle, right? Okay. So what is natural cycle? Well, the definition of a natural cycle, or cycle itself, is defined as a series of events or phenomena that occurs in a specific order and is or are often repeated. Cycles are often repeated. This can also include natural cycles, human cycles, and economic cycles. So we have different cycles in the world that we live in. Yeah, and I wanted to show you this because natural cycle is, we are part of it, but we also have a human cycle, we also have an economic cycle that is a part of our environment and is influencing the way we live. And it's influencing our human cycle, and it's influencing the natural cycles around us, or vice versa. Natural cycles influencing our economic and human cycles. So natural cycles are literally like water cycles, carbon cycles, solar, lunar cycles, yeah, the rhythm of the sun and the moon, which influences us a lot. And it would describe processes that actually repeat over time in nature. Yeah, so the sun rises every morning, the sun sets every night. The moon comes up, you know, and she has cycles, right? So she has different phases, and she is influencing especially the women, right? Because we also have a human cycle, and men also do, although they tend to not know that. So if you are a man, you still have, even if you don't have, if you're not menstruating, you actually still have a cycle. And human cycle examples, for example, include daily circadian rhythm. So we're going to look at the circadian rhythm, which regulates your sleep and wakeful states. Yeah, so sleep and awake cycles. And also menstrual cycles with women, yeah, which governs reproductive health. So those are really important cycles within our body. We also have hormonal cycles, which included in menstrual cycle. Men also have hormonal cycles, yeah. So it's something that we also have, different seasons in our life. We have seasons in nature. And of course, the economic cycles. These actually refer to the fluctuations in economic activity, which can be influenced by nature. Yeah, that can occur over time. For example, we have, currencies have cycles, economies have cycles, governments have cycles, and of course, states. So it's really important to understand that we are all cyclical beings. But unfortunately, in today's world, it's really hard to understand what our cycle really is and are we in tune with it. So as it says with economic cycles, it's periods of expansion and contraction. The same happens in every single life, in every single natural cycle, even in every single breath. So a breath is actually a cycle of expansion and contraction. So it's inhale and exhale. So it's really important to understand that everything moves in a rhythm. But how do we live with that rhythm? And what are those specific cycles and rhythms that are actually influencing our health, wellness, and well-being? So some important natural cycles that are also included into our natural cycle program that influence our energy rhythms, because our body also has cycles within, yeah, so through the meridians, through the energy flow, through the breath, through the for example, just beating of a heart is a rhythm. It's a cycle that happens, right? And frequency. So let's look at some of the important cycles that are actually included into our natural cycle programs. First is solar cycle. So the solar cycle refers to the Earth annual rotation around the sun. So it's outside of the Earth, but it influences the Earth. So it causes seasonal changes. So for example, here in Australia, especially in Queensland, we don't have a lot of seasonal changes because majority of the time it's warm or either hot. And we only have like maybe a wet season a bit, but even that, maybe a winter a bit colder, but majority of time it's quite the same. But when I was born in Europe, we had a really, really strict extreme seasons, right? Really hot summers, really cold winters, rainy season in between, spring coming up. So there's distinctive seasons that you could see the changes in. And it's really interesting to observe my own body going through defined seasons and now moving and living here in Australia where there's literally one big season, how that influences my physical body as well. So For example, solstices and equinoxes are the ones that actually influences our body, and they're major seasonal transitions. So, indigenous cultures have celebrated those. They have actually aligned their body clocks to those. They had their body clocks aligned to those, and they actually knew if the wet season is coming. They knew what was happening around them in the environment, and of course, it affects um, the day length. So when we have, longer days, shorter days, of course, the temperature and the natural rhythms of plants and animals, including us. So you can see plants, blooming in spring, animals, making babies. So there's a reproductive cycle. And it also influences human activities and also energy levels as well as mood. So this is really important because when we have shorter days, and there's less light, our brains are influenced by that and our moods are influenced by that as well as our energy. So make sure that you observe your body so you then know how to support it, and we're going to look at that today. Then of course we have the lunar cycle, which is based on the moon's orbit around the earth, and it lasts about 29.5 days. So they used to have months before the Gregorian calendar. Months were actually 28 days long, and they had 13 months. So this was way back, and that was actually aligned to the lunar rhythm, to the lunar cycle. We know that moon affects the tides, animal behavior, potentially also human psychology. But we know when something is affecting the tides, it's affecting the water. So we are 70% water, so we are affected by the planets outside of us with magnetic fields. And it also can influence human fertility. We know that female menstruation and reproductive cycle, it's actually aligned with the moon. And it's really important, especially women, that when you are actually during the cycle, you understand what's going on within the body, when you're actually cycling with the moon. And that changes as well, depending on our emotions and things like that. And of course, the births. If you ever asked anyone in the hospital when there's a full moon, trust me, there's plenty of births, more than on any other days, because the moon affects us in general. Of course, the moon also influences our melatonin levels, which is the sleep hormone. And that also correlates with menstrual cycle. So if you are a woman menstruating and having a cycle, you will understand that if your hormones are out of balance, if your cycle is out of balance, your sleep will be out of balance as well. If you don't know that, I will tell you that now. So the more you literally align your body with the cycles, your hormones will naturally come to balance, and also your sleep patterns will change, and vice versa. So then we have also a daily circadian rhythm, which is our daily human cycle, which is literally within the 24-hour clock that we have. And our body works in that 24-hour clock. And it regulates various physiological processes, for example, which are controlled by what we call CSN, which is suprachiasmatic, I think it is, sorry, nucleus, which is actually in the hypothalamus. So hypothalamus is really important. In our brain, it actually governs the connection with our environment. It looks at how we receive light, when we actually create certain hormones, including melatonin. And it actually sends signals to all the glands in the body how to utilize energy, how to produce, how to utilize different processes, digestion, and energy levels within the body. So many functions within the body that are actually governed by our hypothalamus, and as well as pituitary gland underneath. It also regulates sleep-awake cycle. So our circadian rhythm is really important, having the same time going to bed, waking up. And of course, hormone releases, body temperature, It is especially for women important because women, align with the hormones, and they move through the cycle, varying through hormones, and that influences your adrenal glands as well as your thyroid. Um, and of course, is influenced by the light exposure. So the best way to actually align your circadian rhythm back into balance is actually sun gazing in the morning and sun gazing at night. Ideally, sun gazing in the morning because you get the right light through your eyes. We talked about that before for the skin, and that influences your hypothalamus, and which is literally like your internal clock, and that resets everything. So if you're actually traveling, we had this with the travel session, it's really important to actually don't go to sleep right away. Wait till the night, go to sleep, and then even if you don't sleep all night, wake up in the morning and sun gaze, because you're resetting your clock based on where you are. And also, if you're completely out of balance with your natural rhythm, the programs that we're going to look at today are amazing in aligning every single meridian exactly with your internal clock, not only with your hypothalamus, but also with every single meridian in your body. So the next one is, of course, your meridian clock, which also has its own clock. Specific time of the day and night is dedicated to specific organ meridian. And according to traditional Chinese medicine, it describes a 24-hour organ clock, and we're going to look at that a bit later. And it also it connects to your energy flow through the body, which of course energy flows through meridians, which charges your energetic field. So if your meridians are out of balance, your chakras will be out of balance, your energetic field will be out of balance, and that can cause irritation. That can cause irritation to the nervous system. It can cause triggers within the body, emotional, physical, just to let you know. Yeah. So each meridian, organ meridian, has an interval of 2 hours, and we're going to look at each of them so you can actually see how they work. And we're going to give you some descriptions as well so you can see what they are about. And we want to actually look at where the peak hour of that, or the peak time of that meridian actually sits for the specific organ, and we want to balance that part, because in that area or that timing, your body is at its peak performance for that organ, and we want to actually support that organ and support that rhythm within the body if it's lacking energy. Because if we're going to look at that, if we have acidiation, so we have the reduction and oxidation, if there's not enough oxygen in the cell, it's like, imagine if the cell doesn't have enough energy, it's like the trampoline that you bounce. So if you actually don't push yourself enough, you're not going to go high enough to actually have enough energy to then create another cycle. So if your cell doesn't have enough energy, it doesn't bounce enough, then it's not going to drop enough to actually detox and then bounce back again, meaning that the rhythm is slowing down, and meaning that your cell doesn't have enough energy, you will not have enough energy, you will not detox properly, and then it becomes a bit clogged. Yeah, so you become a bit sluggish. That's kind of the basic that I can actually, the most simplest version. So for example, let's say an example between 3 and 5 a.m., for example, is the lung meridian. Yeah, so that's where your lungs are actually detoxing. That's why it's so important to actually sleep. And if you are waking up, then the best option is to do breath work and meditation in that time. And 1 to 3 p.m., for example, in the afternoon, is a small intestine. So this is where we actually want to rest. We want to absorb the nutrients. Yeah. So all of this information with traditional Chinese medicine, it's actually used for treatments and understanding daily energy patterns. But for us, it's also important to understand what emotions are suppressed in certain part of the body, what organs are not performing the way that they would need to, what's out of balance and what's causing us the irritation on different levels. And you can go as deep or as shallow as you would like to. I will give you a bit deeper understanding of that today. Of course, now I'm not a traditional Chinese medicine doctor, so that is not my area. But I will share what I have explored and what I'm using to actually check in with my body, understand my body better. So if you look at the natural cycles, everything starts connecting. And when we only look at one side, um, we only see one side of the coin or one side of the box, right? But if we look at it from different sides and different perspectives, when we look at different cycles and start connecting things together, because we understand that it's a complex way of influencing our human health, and it takes a lot of knowledge and patience to actually understand our bodies, because we've never been taught this. But the more you start observing your body and understanding the behavior and what your body is actually telling you, you will understand your well-being, you will understand your point of balance. And the more you're gonna have the experience of that point of balance, and the more you're going to understand when you are out of balance. And all of these rhythms are crucial. Why? Because when we're looking at today's world, yeah, we are living in a highly stressed world and highly fast-paced world where the rhythms are not natural anymore. We are pushing ourselves over the limitations of a physical body. We are also not listening to our bodies anymore. We are not allowing our body to rest, detox, and actually regenerate. So the more we understand those rhythms and the more we actually have the support to bring them back, because if you look at in reality, in order to actually reset this naturally, you would need to go for 3 months, because that's how long it takes to regenerate your adrenal glands. 3 months grounding, completely out of the society, somewhere in nature, literally bathing in the sun, sunbathing in the morning, sun gazing, and then literally, discharging all the stress out of the body, moving your body, and actually just dedicating time to yourself. How many of you can actually afford that? And not afford in a financial way, but missing out on certain things and moving away from a life situation that you have currently. That's a big challenge. So there's a better way. There's a better way to do that. And you can still tweak certain things in your lifestyle, bring some beautiful frequencies into your life, and actually start shifting what's not in alignment. Okay, so let's look at how this natural cycle actually works. So this is the basic gist of the natural cycle. I'm going to go through it so you can understand it, so don't stress. It's a lot on this chart. But the natural cycle module itself uses 5 steps to determine specific programs for reconnecting us with our natural cycles. So you will see on this chart that you have the inner clock is literally the dates. These are called trigger dates. Then we have our organ clock, which is our meridian cycle, yeah? And these are all the timings of the meridian cycles. And then we have our moons, the phases of the moon, yeah? And then we have, you will see oxidation, reduction, we have acid and alkaline. I'm gonna give you a really simple explanation of what this is. So you can also see that I put some pointers here. So this is actually how to support yourself and your body alongside the natural cycle programs. And I'm going to tell you everything about that. So let's look at the 5 steps first, so we understand how we actually determine how we do the natural cycle. So if you live in a northern hemisphere, or if you live in the southern hemisphere, if you live in Australia, or if you live in US, or if you live in Spain, or if you live in Germany, so even closest countries, there are different elements that are influencing specific locations. So we need to define first your geographical location. which actually identifies where the user or you are located, because gravitational forces actually vary across the Earth and they influence your body and your rhythms differently. So we want to actually make that specific to you. So this is a really crucial part, and I'm going to show you all of you how to do this. Then the second part is the trigger date. So all of these trigger dates are important. So you will see we have solstices and equinoxes, and then we have in between dates, which are literally your seasonal changes. So these are literally the changes of the season. So currently we have a 23rd of September coming up, yeah, which is actually your solstice. Yeah, so the solstice is really important because it's indicating your change of huge seasons, right? And in Australia we currently have spring, which is almost summer, but in southern hemisphere, in northern hemisphere, those of you who are living there will be going towards the autumn. So you will see when we go into the app that it will change the timing, it will change the location based on location, it will change how you start the program. And I will share this with you, all of you. Then, of course, we have the day and time. So when do we start this cycle, right? Do we just start with any meridian? How do we know when do we start this? This is a really simple thing. Healy made it so simple. You literally just put details into your app and it calculates everything for you. It gives you reminders, and it does everything for you, honestly. So date and time actually determines the exact day that you need to start and the time of the chosen equinox or solstice phenomena, based on your location. So it also looks into calculation or calculates it in, and puts into consideration the phases of the moon. This is how it actually calculates which organ meridian program you should start with. And then we also need to calculate the frequency programs, which are the organ meridians. And you will understand that, yes, if sometimes, depending on the dates that you start and depending where you live, your organ meridian can come. For example, you would need to start, as a calculation set, you would need to start your program in a liver meridian. Yeah, for example, between 1 and 3 a.m. You will not do that. Yeah, because sleep is more important than applying frequencies during the night. So you will wake up when you wake up normally, yeah? And the first available meridian that you're actually going to apply is going to be the one that is going to come up when you wake up. So if you wake up at 7 o'clock, you're going to probably apply the large intestine, or no, this is 5 to 7. So if you wake up at 7, you're going to apply stomach, yeah, which is between 7 and 9 a.m. So you want to apply this around 8 a.m. Yeah, so which is the peak hour of the meridian. So this is all done through Healy app. So let's look at that. But before we go into that, I actually wanted to give you a bit of the information of what is the oxidation and reduction process and what is alkaline acidity. This is literally a cycle within your body and within your cell. So when we say this is the peak of reduction and this is peak of oxidation. So reduction, let's look at it as energy loss or energy gain. So the cell needs to inhale and exhale like we do, yeah? And when it actually, when it's inhale completely, yeah, so which goes from here to up here, means that this is the peak of filling up your lungs. Yeah, this is the peak of literally oxidizing, putting oxygen into the cell to create energy. Yeah, and this is the peak of energy in your cell or in your body. And when it comes to this peak, it will start the process of reduction, so the process of exhale. So what does that mean? It means that when we are gaining energy, when we're oxidizing, we are actually becoming more acidic. That doesn't mean it's bad for you. It's an inhale and exhale. Yeah, your body needs both acidity and alkalinity. And when we are actually, so this is when we are bringing new information in, new blood, new oxygen. Yeah, so the body can utilize that to create energy, to energize ourselves and the body. And when we are at the peak, we start reducing. So reduction means we are literally detoxing. So the cell is eliminating anything that doesn't need into the bloodstream, into the gut, into all the body's detoxification pathways, and we becoming alkaline. So this means that any acidity that's not actually working for the body is going to be released in the alkaline phase, which is the reduction phase. So why is this important? Because you will see that there are two different programs that are actually used to support you on that journey, because it depends on what type or what phase of the moon you're actually starting. So if you're starting in, the full moon spectra, coming from full moon into new moon, you're actually going into reduction phase, meaning that you need to help your body detox. So you'll be using Gold Cycle Pure program to help to eliminate toxins out of the body. And if you're starting on a new moon, you're almost at the end of reduction, meaning at the peak of reduction of detoxification. So you will need to actually, if you're starting on a new moon, we'll show you not right away, but in about 2 days, in about a week, you're going to start applying energy Gold Cycle program. Why? Because you're oxidating, your body is producing more energy, you're helping to generate more energy in the body, and that also helps your kidneys to activate the energy, life energy within the body. And the more energy you have, the better your body detoxifies when it comes to the tip of oxidation. So this is the alkaline and acid balance. So if you are not breathing properly, this process can't happen within your body. So your breath is actually detoxing while you are breathing. You're detoxing all the acidity out of the body, and you're making yourself alkaline. And the same happens within the cell. So just so you understand why these are here, because those are also organs. See, because alkalinity comes to detoxification organs. And if you are not, and you can see that all of these organs are afternoon, yeah, to midnight. Yeah, so you literally afternoon to midnight, literally the half of the day, is where your body is starting to accumulate, eliminate, digest, activate, yeah, and then it goes into detox phase, which actually generates the energy. Yeah, so then during the night, if you're not sleeping properly, you're not able to regenerate and you're not able to generate enough life energy. It's the rhythm. Yeah, so if you go into bed after 11, you're missing out the most important things. Yeah, so before 10 is the most important thing. Okay, the gist of it, I'm going to share with you how to do this. Before we go into this, there's a frequency session that comes with all of this. So you need to apply programs, and they're applied through the Pink app. Yeah, through your IMF current application, either through the coil or through the bracelets. I would advise you to use bracelets because you want to generate energy in the body, ATP. Yeah, so there's 3 phases of this session. One is called activation, second one is called stabilization, and the third one is supporting programs. So the activation phase, and they happen within the same day, or well, supporting one is separate, but within the same day you have the activation and stabilization. So activation programs are all 18 minutes long, yeah, and they're actually dedicated to a specific organ meridian in the organ clock. So you are literally balancing your organ meridians based on your body's rhythm where you live. After that comes stabilization. So these are the programs that actually support the frequency integration. And when we have that, there's two different programs. One is daily stabilization and the other one is solar stabilization rhythm. So those two are actually used specifically. So daily stabilization is only used for the first 4 weeks or until you feel that your body's coming back to the natural rhythm. What does that mean? When your organ meridians are performing at their best, you are sleeping well, so meaning you have a deep sleep. Yeah, you go to bed and you fall asleep without a problem. You don't toss and turn. You sleep deeply throughout the night. You wake up naturally without the alarm clock at a specific time, and you wake up. You are rejuvenated. You're not tired. Yeah, you're not waking up in the middle of your REM sleep cycle. So you literally are waking up naturally with your body. You are then eliminating your bowels naturally without pressure, literally smoothly, regularly every single day in the morning. When you are actually doing that, you don't feel tired as much, you're feeling more refreshed. When you have that feeling, and if that doesn't come after 4 weeks, then please continue. If it comes after 4 weeks, then you switch to the solar stabilization program, which actually aligns you with the solar rhythm, aligning you meridians and solar rhythm as well, so you can wake up with sun. Yeah, so you can come back to rhythm with the sun. Along those programs, which I will show you how to use them and when to use them, you have two programs which are Gold Cycle Pure and Gold Cycle Energy. As I said, the Pure is for the reduction in alkalinity. Yeah, so starting with the full moon. Yeah, you're literally using the Pure program until you come to the new moon. You switch it to the energy program. If you're starting with the new moon, you are starting to use the energy program. When you come to the full moon, you start to use the Pure program. So you're helping your body to go into the cycle, the natural cycle of your body. Yeah. Okay, fun stuff. Let's share. So this is all done in Heal Advisor search app or Heal Advisor app. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you how you can actually just really simply do that. Let me just go and stop sharing this. Okay, tell me if you can see my screen. Oh, shizzles, you couldn't see. Which screen you couldn't see? Oh, you've seen my slides because I was always on slides. That's all I was doing. So now I'm going to share. Okay. Okay. Okay, perfect. So this is Heal Advisor search. I'm going to share exactly how you do this. So you can see that normally you would have your bioenergetic vitalization, digital nutrition, whatever programs you have. And if you have purchased Natural Cycle, it will come up literally showing like this, meaning that it's not grayed out. I don't have animal programs, so you can see they're grayed out. This one is not. So Natural Cycle, it should have colors, yeah, if you purchased it. And all you have to do is literally click calculate start date, and then you decide where you live, right? So either your northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere. I'm going to do this for myself first so you can see what it is for Australia. And then I'm going to show you other locations, and you'll see that it changes based on location. So for me, I live in Brisbane, so it's +10. And I'm going to set calculate start date. So it's going to calculate the start date, and it is 22nd of the 9th at 7:14 a.m. So if I relate to the organ clock, I'm just going to share that for a minute so you can, no, stop sharing. This one. So you can actually see in the organ clock 7:14 in Brisbane a.m., 7:14 means 7 starts stomach meridian. Yeah. And if I go back to stop, if I go back to my phone, you will see that if I click set reminder, it will automatically populate the session that I need to start with. And this is the 22nd of September, because this is the date that's coming, yeah, based on my location. So what it's going to give you me as a session is going to give me a glass of water 30 minutes before my application of the first program, the glass of water 15 minutes before application of the first program, which is the activation program. And then see how it's going to give me 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., which is literally the stomach meridian, because that's where the solstice happens and that's where the organ meridian falls into. And by that, when we look at it, after that program, I'm going to apply it. So I'm just going to set reminder. I'm going to show you something. It's going to give me times. See, it's going to give me a reminder of when I need to drink glass of water. It's going to give me a reminder of the activation program. Also, when to drink a glass of water after. And after the water, you will always apply a stabilization daily program for the 4 weeks or more if you need to. When you actually do all of these, if you click on them, they will literally tick everything. If you click on the what is it, activation program, it's gonna it recognize the meridian. Sorry, I have my Healy as well. It always does that when my Healy is not active. Okay, so it's gonna recognize my Healy. It's gonna take me directly to the pink app and directly to this program. The pink app. As it connects. It always does that. When you need it the most, it's the slowest. That's what I've noticed. And it will go directly to 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. So I can apply this directly from the Heal Advisor into the pink app and just click start. It's 18 minutes, always use bracelets. And then the next session, it's not going to be in the next 2 hours. So it's not going to be from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Yeah, that 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. organ meridian is going to come on another day. So not the same day, on another day. So when you do the session, the frequency session, you only have the water, the activation program, the water and the stabilization program, and then the next meridian will come the next day, which is literally in 2 days. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm just going to stop sharing. I'm going to show you exactly how that looks like. Here. Okie dokie. So when we look at, we've already done this in Heal Advisor. It gave us the program to start with, and we have our beautiful daily application. So that's all done in Heal Advisor, yeah? But how do we do next? Heal Advisor will actually remind you when those application days will happen. And normally they will happen on Tuesday and on Thursday. So you'll have a day in between, and only on Tuesday and on Thursday throughout the week. I will give you my little protocol. These are my do's and don'ts. So Healy advises within the Heal Advisor to apply the activation program and stabilization program on Tuesday and on Thursday. It doesn't give you activation daily any other days in between. So this is my experiment. I've experimented a lot on myself. So I've actually tried, please do not do that. Just letting you know, please do not do that. I have actually tried doing programs for each organ meridian on Tuesdays and Thursdays, literally every 2 hours. Yeah. Do not do that. Just letting you know. So this is too intense. I was trying to, I'm pushing my body, but this is not healthy. Yeah. So I actually then tried, of course, I tried their version first, Tuesday and Thursday, and then I tested my version, which was intense. I pulled back. And then I've actually found this is an advanced option if you would like to. But I would advise you to just start following the Heal Advisor app when you have the natural cycle, especially now with 50% off. And it's beautiful starting with solstice is an amazing start date right now. There are beautiful shifts in energies as well to actually align you through all the cycles that you have. Just make sure that, don't forget, so Healy Advisor does calculate that, but just don't forget when you start on a specific trigger date, you also need to finish on a specific trigger date. Don't finish in between. Yeah. So always do cycles, trigger date to trigger date. You can still continue the natural cycle from that trigger date, but you will need to recalculate it based on that trigger date. This is my mini protocol that I've tested. It's my advanced protocol. So you'll have your activation sessions like Heal Advisor advises you, yeah. But this is what I've done, and I've actually found it really beneficial. But if you're just starting out, do the Tuesday and Thursday, yeah. But what I've done on Monday is I did water and I did stabilization daily, yeah, every single day except the 7th day. And then I did, well, sorry, it was actually the other way around. So pure in the mornings and stabilization daily program in the afternoon. And then again, the other way around. So it was pure in the morning. I'll correct that and I'll pop it into the groups. But it was pure in the morning and stabilization day, stabilization in the afternoon. And then I only did pure twice, and then I just did stabilization daily on Friday and Saturday. Of course, hydration is important. And then, of course, the last 7 days, it was just rest, no programs. So you can add on other programs like digital nutrition or like hormone programs if you want to, or bioenergetic vitalization programs if you want to. You can add them. Just make sure that you're not overdoing them. So if you are adding other programs beside these, then I would really consider doing just the basic Tuesday and Thursday. Yeah, so you don't actually overdo programs on your body. So I'll correct this because purist should be in the morning, as well as if you're using energy should be in the morning. Yeah, so this is my mini protocol. I'll correct that and pop it into the Facebook group. But let's look at the program before we go. So these are all your Meridian programs in your pink app. What I have done, so I'm going to share something with you, what Healy already has done. Oh, why is it not showing me? This is really funny. Oh, here. Here. So in your Healy guide, so if you go into the pink app under so you can find it here. I'm just going to share with the phone so you can actually see it. Oh, where are you? Okay. So in the pink app, these are your natural cycle. So you have your natural cycle Meridian programs, and then you have natural cycle, your stabilization, daily stabilization, solar. But if you go down into the info center and you go under guide, it's going to show up in your Healy guide, Healy app guide. And within this guide, you will find natural cycle. And if you click on this, it would literally give you the explanations of all the meridians. So that's what I wanted to show you. So this is where you can find it, but you can also find it in your back office. In your back office, it's literally the same Healy app guide. And this is what it says. Literally gives you all the meridian programs for natural cycle, and it gives you all the explanation of what these meridian programs do, so specific meridians and what they are supposed to do physically. What I have done today for you is actually, where are you? Here. Here. So what I have added on is the same meridian programs, but I actually gave you the physical imbalances and the emotional imbalances. So you can actually see if certain emotions come up for you, yeah, irritations, things like that, you can actually connect that to specific meridians. So I'm not going to read through this right now because it's literally like, what do we have? 2 pages, yeah? So you have all your meridians here, and it tells you all the physical imbalances and emotional imbalances, where in the Healy guide you have exactly what this meridian governs and what is influenced by it. So you can have a bit of a guide in order to actually see how your body is responding and what are the messages that your body is sending to you. Yeah. So really simple. I'm going to give you this into the groups as well so you can read it. I'm going to give you my mini protocol. But literally, basically, natural cycle is so simple. You can really just pop the information into the Heal Advisor, start there. You have all the reminders in there. You don't have to think about what meridian needs to be activated because everything is in the app. Yeah, but this is just an extra information. So while you are balancing your meridians and you're coming back to your natural rhythm, there's emotions that can come up. Yeah, because you're moving the energies through the meridians, and certain things that are not belonging to you anymore, or your body doesn't want them, they might arise. That doesn't mean you're going bad or worse, or, it just means that your body is releasing certain things. So you can actually have a conversation with your body by understanding the certain sensations, emotions connected to that. So this gives you a bit of a guide. Okay? I think I've done with my spill. Great. 8 o'clock. Awesome. Questions? So we can actually then finish. If you have any questions, pop your hands up. Otherwise, I'm just going to go through. Yes, a year. Yes, that is true. Cool. Here. Dr. Ganesh, or I don't know if that's the right thing to pronounce. Sorry for that.
That's Dr. Ganesh. In the pink app, you were showing the place where you have to go into the natural cycles, where you have the entire description. Can you please tell us once more, please?
So you mean the guide? Where do you go into the guide?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so it's literally underneath in the app. So if you go into the app, on the bottom, it's literally called Info Center. If you go into the Info Center, then you look for guide.
Yes.
And then it's going to open up a PDF in the app.
Okay.
And then if you go into the table of contents.
Okay.
Yeah, so look for table of contents, and then you click on natural cycle. It will take you right away to the natural cycle.
Thank you so much. Got it.
You're more than welcome. Okay. Dr. C.
Hello. Yeah, this is I'm an acupuncturist.
So great. I would love to learn.
Yeah. Because the thing is completely based on this one. All what you have given in detail.
I love that you have this, and I love my experience with natural cycle. So I forgot about that one. I was testing things, so I didn't go the whole it was not a smooth cycle, right?
But it is.
Even if when I was testing it, I had after a week, I had much better sleep. My cycle completely changed. I started waking up at 5 o'clock automatically, And it was really interesting for me to observe how less tired I was and how better I was sleeping, and how much more positive mood I had throughout the day. And I also had more energy, which was really, really surprising after a week. So I really love this, and I love the meridians. I'm a fan of that. I'm not a doctor, Chinese practitioner, anything, but I love that. Like I love acupressure, I love acupuncture, I love acupressures. You know, my partner is a massage therapist and he does reflexology, so I understand some of it, but I just love this cycle. Have you tried the natural cycle?
Yes, because the thing is, our life is based on the natural cycle. Because we are telling that we have to take the breakfast between 7 to 9. It is a time of the stomach.
Yes.
So our lifestyle completely based on the organ clock theory. There are 12 organ and 24 hours. Each organ has the 2 hours. So if you do maximum on that, really we will be healthy. That is towards the nature. This a basic concept is towards the nature. You live with the nature. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And we used to live that way, right? We used to wake up with the sun. We used to, you know, go to bed when there was no sunlight, right? Now we have blue lights and mobile phones and all of that, and it's literally taking us out of our alignment. So thank you for sharing that with me. Thank you so much. Okay. Any other questions? Let me see if I have anything here. I feel like I do a little. I have put in link last week. Yeah, so the last week I haven't. Last week's recording is not up yet because I've been on holiday. Yeah, so I came back literally last night. So today it's been crazy for me because I'm squeezing things in. But it's coming, promise. I actually got it literally just 2 days back. So I didn't have a chance to actually pop it on anyway. But it is coming. I'll pop it on when we finish today, and I'll pop everything with the slides and things into the group as well. So apologies for that, but I was connecting to my natural cycle through the holiday. Okay, activation. So what if the activation time, it says, for example, 3 a.m. Do I need to get up at, no, that's what I just said. So you don't have to get up during the night. So if it says activation starts at 3 a.m. in the liver, for example, 1 to 3, which is the liver meridian, please do not get up. Yeah. If you naturally wake up at 7 o'clock, then start with the 7 to 9, which is the stomach. So that will be the natural one. But if you don't naturally wake up at 7, you naturally wake up at 9, then go to the next one. Yeah, from 9 to 11. So make sure that you start your cycle when it naturally happens for your body. So don't feel like you need to force. If you can start at that time, that's ideal, great. But you need to understand that the programs will guide you. Every Tuesday you'll have the first meridian you activate. Then the Thursday you'll have the second meridian you activate. Then the next Tuesday you'll have the third meridian that you activate. So you're literally activating every single meridian slowly, and literally moving your organ clock, moving your circadian rhythm slowly with frequencies, so you are better sleeping better throughout the night, you're waking up earlier. So you will find that you're slowly adjusting your time and your clock, like inner clock. Yeah. So please do not get up during the night. Thank you. Last slide, please share. You mean the meridians? I'll pop those out so you can download them without a problem. In Germany, we learned that if you do not want to wake up during the night, you can do exactly the same program 12 hours late. Yep, you can do. Marilis, you're great. Yep, I agree. Perhaps you mentioned it and it did not hit. No. So you can, ideally, Healy advises the first organ meridian when you wake up, because then that is the peak time of the meridian, and you want to actually start activating the meridians that are in the peak period. Yes, of course, you have pairs of meridians that's deeper. Of course, you have oppositions, but remember that it's not ideal to send frequencies for a liver meridian, yeah, For example, I forgot what was the opposite. I always forget the oppositions. So for example, if you have a liver meridian, which is at 1 to 3 in the morning, and the opposite is literally from 1 to 3 in the afternoon, which is your small intestine, you actually don't want to send liver frequencies in that time. You want to apply small intestine frequencies because that's the peak hour of the meridian. Yes, of course, you have influences, but we need to understand that your body has a rhythm, and the frequencies within those programs are really literally dedicating to that specific meridian. So it's better to actually wake up, start with that meridian that, you know, it's the first meridian that's active, and then move slowly because you're adjusting those frequencies, you're adjusting that clock within your body as well. Will the activation time details shared with the app? Will the activation time details? Yes. So your app will automatically calculate everything. Yeah. So it will calculate when to apply the program. It will remind you when to apply the program. It will remind you about, you know, when to take water, drink water. But if you don't want to receive those reminders, you can also untick that, whatever you don't want. Yeah. Teachers Day in India. Oh, really? That's beautiful. Oh, thank you. Um, oh, cool. I love that you've done it, Marie-Louise. It's so much better. I woke up early, full of energy, more concentrated. I love it. But don't forget to take 2 times pure and drink enough water. Yes, I found that pure really helped me detox. And mind you, I also started Natural Cycle with together with my new Meridian module on my Mag Healy. So I started detoxing too fast, but that is kind of what I normally do all the way through. So I just go pure all the way in. But just, yeah, those are don'ts for you. Yeah, just letting you know. Perfect. Okay, let me just see if there's any questions. Yes, I would definitely recommend if you are after aligning your natural cycle. You have 50% on natural cycle right now. Yeah. So I think normal price is around 400 something Australian dollars. So it's half that. I don't know how much is in India, but it's half of the price and you get it for life. And it's something you can do twice a year because when seasons change, you can align your cycle based on the season. So you can help your body to keep up with the energies, to actually keep up the energy moving through the meridians. So it's something that's actually really beneficial that you can do multiple times a year. Do I have to complete the natural? No, it's a cycle. Correct. Thank you, Marie-Louise. Yeah, that was just me testing it. So no, not in one day. So it's only one activation program per day, one stabilization program per day, and you only apply the programs on Tuesday and Thursday. That's all you have to do. And if you put it into the app, into the Heal Advisor app, it will remind you at exactly the days that you need to do them and exactly what programs you need to do. So you don't have to think about it. I was just giving you some extra information so you can start exploring, you can start connecting with your body. That's about it. Yeah. If someone does not have a natural cycle, can they use other programs, gold and medium programs? No. So if you are specifically applying, if you're specifically referring to aligning your body to natural cycle, no, because the programs that are in the natural cycle, although they are specifically added to the meridians, they are not the same programs as the meridian programs in the Pink app. So they're completely new frequencies. They're not the same as the meridians that we have. So they are two separate things. And gold cycles are just as a support because pure gold cycle pure is actually a beautiful support for detoxification of the lungs and the kidneys, where you are aligning your meridians through the body and energy is moving and lymph is moving and toxins are moving. The lungs and the kidneys need to have open pathways in order for your body to eliminate things that are moving through the meridians and adjusting. Can I do natural cycling during the day? I do other yes, you can. So you can apply other programs with natural cycle. Just as I said before, if you're doing it only Tuesday, Thursday, make sure that you apply the programs not more than 3 programs, IMF programs per day. So have that in mind. And of course, you know your body if you're overstimulating your body or not. Okay, perfect. That's it. If there's no questions, I will pop the slides into the Facebook group. Of course, if you're not in the Facebook group, please let me know. I will pop a link in here. Otherwise, I'll share it next week as well if you want to. But I will pop the slides, recording probably next week because I'm away this weekend on a conference. So I will be popping the recording next week into the group, but I will pop the last week recording into the group today. So you can have that as well. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here with me. Next week, we are moving back to Healy, and I'll be seeing you next Thursday. My God, I can't speak today. Have a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.